As a new and aspiring coach, sometimes it can feel like you're a little bit of a fraud. You may wonder things like, will people want to hear from me? Will people think that I can create transformations for them? Am I even capable of being a real coach? Am I capable of coaching and having an impact on other people? You're not alone. The problem is when you have these limiting beliefs and you struggle with imposter syndrome, it impacts your success in your business as well as in your personal life as well. For example, it may cause you to procrastinate or delay on things that you feel like you should be doing. It may cause you not to show up or not to show up effectively and kind of show up from a place of like fear or obligation, but not from a place of passion. It can even impact the way in which you serve people. So maybe you're severely undercharging or you're scared to really show them what you have to offer as a coach. And while you're wondering if people will think you're a real coach, I'm here to tell you that even like well-established coaches run into imposter syndrome. In fact, research says that 70% of people at some point or another deal with imposter syndrome. And I personally believe with each level you move up, each up level you take, the likelihood that you could deal with imposter syndrome. But the good news is imposter syndrome doesn't have to take over your life. You can move beyond imposter syndrome and step into the next level version coach that you know that you're called to be using the 4 simple strategies I'm going to share with you today. So the first strategy to overcome imposter syndrome is doing the inner work. The reality is you can't show up and be effective if you're not first taking care of yourself. So this involves overcoming those limiting beliefs, moving beyond those negative mindset thoughts, taking good care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. These things are so important. One thing that I do as a coach is I do emotional freedom tapping. And emotional freedom tapping is an amazing mindset tool that helps me release negative energy and replace it with positive suggestions that help me to show up high vibe, super excited and ready to take on the day and really be able to make and create transformations for my clients. Understand that emotional freedom tapping is not the only option. There's plenty of other things that you can do to take care of that inner work, such as hiring a coach yourself. The world's most successful people have coaches. And I don't think that that's by accident. I think that they recognize that value of having someone affirm them, motivate them, encourage them, push them beyond their limits, and really help them to feel heard and held. So consider hiring a coach on your journey as well. The second strategy to overcome imposter syndrome is to remember why you're the expert. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably like, I'm not the expert. But that's because you likely have a really altered view and definition of expert. Expert is anyone who's gained their expertise through experience. It doesn't mean that you have to have some fancy certification or some specialized degree or anything like that. Expert could simply mean that you've experienced it or you've helped other people through it, or it's something that you're really knowledgeable about. There's no such thing as a doctorate in personal development, yet I feel like a personal development guru from all of the books that I've read. I never was a divorced coach certified, right? But I coached women through healing after divorce because of my own journey. And so we have to reframe the way in which we look at experts so that we can give ourselves permission to step into that expertise. Maybe you've just helped hundreds of people with the certain subject that you want to help your clients with. Maybe you're really, really passionate about it. Maybe you do have a certification or a degree. Whatever it is, I'm going to challenge you to list 20 reasons why you're qualified to do exactly what it is that you want to do. Now, it's probably going to feel really overwhelming at first, but the more you dig, the more you're going to say, you know what? I am qualified, and you are going to feel really excited and honored to be able to step into this role. The third strategy that I highly recommend to overcome imposter syndrome is to keep a victory or a wins or a feedback log. So what I mean by that is anytime you get testimonial or great feedback or words of wisdom or you win, like you make a really awesome sale, keep it all together in a place that you can reference often. Long time ago, before I got into Google Docs, I would keep a shoebox full of feedback. People would give me cards. People would send me nice things that people would say. I'd write it down and I'd put it in there and I'd go through it. Now I have a Google Drive, and every time I'm feeling a little bit questionable or down, I'll go to that Google Drive folder and I'll pull up all those receipts, and that's what I like to call them, of what people have said, how they've complimented me, how I've been able to co-create transformations, and it helps me to feel super upbeat, and it reminds me that I am able to do this, that I am deserving of this, and that this is something that I'm fully capable of, and I am not an imposter. So think about it. Is there something that someone has said super nice to you on social media that you can take a screenshot of and then upload it to your Google Drive? Can you create a folder in your iPhone or Android and keep track of all these things? If you've never received a testimonial from a client, consider doing some work with somebody that you care about, a good friend that you can help, and ask for feedback. You can even just ask your friends for feedback about a particular subject. I remember when I was helping with productivity hacks, my aunt was really struggling with organizing her dining room table. She felt like it was a black hole and she couldn't find anything there. And so I gave her a strategy that worked really, really well for her. And the words that she said to me were the very words that I used to keep my momentum in the first year of my business before I really felt like I was called to be a coach. So consider those testimonials, the feedback, the victories that you have. If it's a PayPal or a Stripe alert, take a screenshot of that and add it to your folder as well. This serves as a constant reminder that you're in alignment with where you're supposed to be. And it reminds you that you, my friend, are not at all an imposter. Finally, the fourth strategy to overcoming imposter syndrome is to remember that you don't have to have it all figured out. A lot of times as coaches, we have this common misconception that we need to have it all figured out, that we need to have all the answers. But I'm a firm believer that even if you're just one or two steps ahead of your clients, you can still create transformations for them. In fact, you can probably create really great transformations for them because you remember exactly where it was that they're at. I also believe that it's okay as a coach to say that you don't know the answer as long as you're willing to be resourceful and dig deep to help them figure out that answer. So let go of the expectation that you have to know, be, or do it all to be an effective or highly functional coach. The reality is we all are going to run into imposter syndrome at one point or another. But as long as you remember these 4 simple strategies, you'll be able to move beyond imposter syndrome and step into that next level, full-blown, life-changing, transformational coach that you're called to be. Now that you're ready and have the skills to tackle imposter syndrome for good, if you're ready to take that next step and increase your income and your impact, I have just the thing for you. If you use the link below, you can sign up for my totally free bundle called Get Your Next Paying Client Now, where I walk you through the process to increase your magnetism and increase your success. Trust me when I say that this is worth its weight in gold. So use the link below to join us, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.